that's where we have the potential for that spin up as it continues to work its way off toward the east. So again, Valley Mills down 317 to about 5 miles north of Crawford. This is where we're going to likely have this cross over. So far western McLennan County and then into the far southern parts of Bosque County as that works into the Valley Mills area. And then eventually it may turn more to the right. So folks in China Spring, Golson, we'll have to watch this very closely. So the north side of Waco, we will watch that very closely as well. Any updates?
Fortunately, we don't have any updates of any spotter confirmation of either storm, of wall clouds, anything spinning. We do have Josh Johns on the southern one. He's got a great look at it. So we're going to know before just about anyone if something's happening there. But fortunately, we don't have anything overly dangerous in terms of recent spotter reports to pass along.
All right. So again, if you're in Valley Mills, go ahead and take your tornado precautions now. I know there's probably kids at home, just like what we had last week, that your parents aren't home yet. And I know this can be scary, so turn up the TV as loud as you can. We're going to be here right along with you as we continue to watch this very closely. So again, no official tornado on the ground as of right now. That's the good news. The bad news is this may morph into a more dramatic thunderstorm as it continues to make its way off to the east. So that's the Valley Mill storm. Let's go up to the Meridian storm. We have to check on both here. You can see that hook. It looks like two separate little appendages here. So let's go to our velocity product and maybe near Meridian right now. Looks like that's where the highest potential of rotation. North side of Meridian, right where 174 comes on the north side of town there, off Highway 22. And again, this is where we're likely seeing the spin right there. We don't have an official confirmation of a tornado with this, but it's probably close. And again, there is a little bit of deception here. We have the main hook back here, and this was showing it more over here. So we may be off, the radar may be off just a little bit. But we are seeing that potential still. I want to keep you folks in Meridian in your storm shelters right now, as we do have that potential for a tornado at any moment. Besides that, we're probably going to get some pretty sizable hail to the north of town. And then as you head up to around Morgan as well, Walnut Springs, and currently, again, pocket change size hail, maybe some marble nickel size hail, or slightly larger than that. So again, this storm is in its infancy. It's trying to wrap up there right on the north side of Meridian. You can see how that's hooked. So we're getting this wrapping in. If there's going to be a tornado, it's going to happen here in the next couple of minutes here on the north side of Meridian. And we do have that spin that's right here on the north side of town as well. Let's go back to the velocity product. I'll keep my finger right in here. That's our little couplet right there. Again, the reflectivity and the velocity may be off just a little bit. But it looks like on 174, 1 mile, 1 to 2 miles north of Meridian, that's where we do have that spin currently, and that will continue to work its way. It looks like it's occluding a little bit. So the spin itself may go more to the northeast as the storm itself moves off toward the east. And remember, these continuously cycle, and they will be doing that as we head through the overnight hours. So it is going to be a pretty long night here across central Texas. First 2 thunderstorms are tornado warned here across the area. That just tells you that the atmosphere is primed here in central Texas for the potential of some significant severe weather. Let's go back to the southern storm now. And again, we have 2 tornado warnings in Bosque County. This is for the southern cell. Here's your hook right here. And that's what we're going to be watching very closely. I know Josh is trying to get a better position right now on the look of that. But again, on radar, not looking very good, but we're not seeing those reds and those greens stacked up very close to each other. So that's good news as of right now. Nothing official on the ground, but that can tighten really quick. And if those greens and reds come together in the next couple of scans, well, then that means a tornado could form very quickly as this continues over toward you folks in Valley Mills. So again, from just north of Crawford up toward the Bosque County line in Valley Mills, we could get some hail out of this as well. Could be up to quarter-size hail, maybe slightly larger, as it continues to work its way off toward the east.
They're noting, the National Weather Service, that these are thunderstorms that have good rotation in the mid-levels, but both of these storms are struggling to really tighten that low-level rotation. I believe that they did receive a report of a wall cloud, and I don't know that that is Josh's, unless he sent to maybe Twitter or something, but it's the Valley Mills storm with a report of a wall cloud, and it may be something that Josh was looking at earlier. It might have been from a just different vantage point. So what we're going to do now is just go back and forth between the 2 storms because, like Matt mentioned, we have until 5:15 2 separate tornado warnings. Let's stick with the southern one for now because what I was showing you was the velocity image out of Fort Worth. That's the radar site that's closest to this. You hear us using and talking about the Granger radar site a lot, and we tend to use that one for most of the area, but it's Fort Worth that has a better shot at the moment. But let's just look at the Granger site, which is going to be farther away. So, and this actually a few scans ago looked a lot better. So this would be mid-level rotation since it's the Granger site. And even at this level, it looks like, yeah, okay, so, it's been, like I said, it's been trying to get its act together. So nothing that really says something is imminent, but within a few scans, things can change, and we're going to keep an eye on it.
And we are going to do that. And again, these storms are in their infancy. Supercells like this like to take their time sometimes. And it's only about 4:43 right now. So as we get deeper into the evening, especially by 6 o'clock or so, what we call a low-level jet starts to develop just above the surface. And as that happens, that usually increases your tornado potential. So between now and 6, the tornado potential will continue to rise as these thunderstorms move on in. Now, off to the northwest of these, we have another cell. This one's been producing tennis ball size hail just east of Gorman right now. That will continue down to the southeast. Folks in Hyco, keep an eye on that one. That one's a pretty mean one as it makes its way off toward the southeast. That one could also affect Bosque County as it works its way off to the southeast as well. There are other cells developing south of Comanche and south of Coleman, so folks in Mills County. We'll have to keep an eye on these. These could rapidly become severe. South of Blanket, south of Coleman, moving toward you folks in the Gulfway area. This is what I'm saying. Make sure you have a plan of action in place because things can rapidly deteriorate in any location as we continue to see these thunderstorms develop across the area. So again, monster supercell up here that will continue down toward our area, developing thunderstorms west of Gulfway and San Saba. We have to keep an eye on those. And then our thunderstorms that are tornado warned for Bosque County and for parts of McLennan County as well, west of Waco. Waco officially not in that polygon. But again, that hook is now inside the Bosque County line, just north of the McLennan County line. It's where all these counties come together right here, and that will continue. So in Valley Mills itself, we probably starting to get some hail out of this thunderstorm, probably just from Valley Mills northwest on Highway 6 there. The hail is going up in this, so we are going to have to watch that as well. So up to golf ball size hail, just near or to the west of Valley Mills currently as that makes its way toward Highway 6. The hook is definitely more pronounced here, so we have a pronounced hook here just west of Valley Mills. I still want you to take your tornado precautions even though we don't have anything official. I know Josh is trying to watch this. I want to go to Josh. I know he's repositioning right now, but we need to get his visual and what he's seeing right now. Josh, what do you have for us, and exactly where are you located?
We're back where we were on Simpson Road, and this wall cloud is really intensified. You can see how much thicker it is. Go ahead and face left once we get past this driveway. And it's thicker. We're seeing a lot of upwards motion into it. I'm trying to tell if it's rotating. I think we saw a brief funnel earlier when we were sitting here earlier. And that would be that picture that got shot out on Twitter that Caleb was talking about. But a lot of rapid motion in this. Turn left right after this tree. Point now. Point now. Left. Look at that motion, Matt.
Yeah.
We have the sideways rotation there on the front end of it.
All right, so we're watching it. We're watching it, Josh. I will tell you this: the hook is definitely becoming more pronounced on the radar. So, what's your inflow like there right now?
We have a little bit of inflow, probably around 10 to 15 out of the southeast, so that's going into it.
Okay, so we're not up into that 30, 40 mile per hour range. That's good news. It's still pretty far away from you. But again, this is the storm that Josh is looking at here. If we can go to the dual box, and you can see, again, we got the pronounced hook, and that's what you're seeing left of that big tree there and left of the road. That's what we're seeing with that. No official touchdowns, but we have a wall cloud now, and that can be a precursor to a possible tornado. So again, we have eyes on the storm in our 25 Storm Wrangler there with meteorologist Josh Johns. So we are watching that one closely. Let's go back to the north real quick. And Josh, let us know if you need anything, any information coming in. Again, north of Meridian here on 174, our hook has now occluded a little bit. Yeah, just east of 174 right now, probably where we have that spin. I'm not sure if the Weather Service has been talking about that, but I don't like that look. If you live anywhere northeast of Meridian, north of Highway 22, east of 174, you need to be in your place of safety right now, as we do have the spin there, and this has tightened up over the past couple of minutes on the past couple of scans. So this is tightening up. We could have a tornado now just to the northeast of Meridian, or at least one that could be forming imminently here, just northeast of Meridian. So I think Meridian, you're past the worst of this right now. It's folks northeast side of Meridian as you head east of 174, north of 22, where we do have that highest potential for this to be tornadic. If you live west of Meridian, yes, you're getting a lot of rain right now, but I do think the main spin is to the east of you if you're right along Highway 6. So a loud storm, probably getting some hail associated with that as well, but that is going to continue to make its way off toward the east. So we have tightening rotation northeast of Meridian right here, about 2 miles east of 74, 1 to 2 miles north of 22. That will continue across eastern and rural sections of Bosque County. So if you live in rural section of Bosque County, you know anyone that lives there, let them know that the potential for a tornado does exist. And then eventually this could be heading a little farther to the east, and we may get this over closer to Hill County, and we'll be watching that. Folks around Aquila, we'll be keeping an eye on that, and it could be also close to you folks, probably maybe near Lake Whitney as well. So Lake Whitney, heads up on this one. We could be seeing this get very close to you over the next several minutes. It does look like that it's starting to make an eastward move here, so moving more to the east. So folks in Whitney, let's keep a close eye on this one, and also the south side of Lake Whitney as well. There's the storm track that Caleb is drawing for us, and you can see a lot of landmarks, and we put those in there because you may live close to that landmark and go, oh, that's near me. We had that with the Salado tornado last year. A lot of folks knew exactly where that was. So if you live anywhere near these places, this is going to be heading your way. And again, this one is looking a lot more impactful as it does look like the rotation continues to tighten.
They are noting that they're basically maintaining that potential for tornadoes with both of these thunderstorms. National Weather Service says this Valley Meal storms continues to be structurally impressive, very intense updraft, and they did trim off this particular warning, the one for Bosque. You'll notice that they shortened it up a little bit. They still are going to let it run until 5:15, and it is still a radar indicated rotation at this time. But, you know, considering where these are into proximity of that warm front that we were talking about, they're in a spot to do something. Wouldn't surprise me if, you know, if the tornado potential would be increasing in both of these thunderstorms.
All right, so west of Lake Whitney, if you live anywhere between Meridian and Lake Whitney, go into your storm shelter. That's as many walls between you and the outside, lowest floor of your home, away from windows, especially west-facing windows, as we could have wind-blown hail with some of these thunderstorms as well. Again, the structure on both of these looking very good. So we do have this one up here, just to the east of Meridian, a possible tornado there, and also just to the south of Valley Mills, it looks like. It looks like that one's starting to go more east. This is what we were talking about. Let's concentrate on this one once again. And again, let's go in even tighter. There's Valley Mills right there. So again, it's about to cross into parts of McLennan County. So again, north of Crawford, go ahead and take your storm precautions right now west of Highway 317. If you live between 317 and the McLennan County line, up to Valley Mills, let's go ahead and take you into your storm shelter right now. Again, this is still broad rotation, so that's good. We don't have that tightening that we've seen with the one east of Meridian. But this is going to be approaching more population as it makes its way to the east. So folks in China Spring, you need to watch this one. Folks up in Golson, you need to watch this one. North side of Waco, Lacey Lakeview, you need to watch this one as it continues to make its way more to the east. This is north of Highway 84. So if you live south of Highway 84 in McLennan County, you're going to be okay with this. It's going to be north of Highway 84 as it continues to make its way off to the east. And again, this is looking very classic now. I would not be surprised to see the velocities really start to tighten up here. We had the rear flank downdraft. That's air coming this way out of the thunderstorm and around it. So it looks like that's becoming active here. And we do have a classic looking supercell. Hail will also be a possibility with this. Let's go to our hail tracker. Yeah, golf ball size hail or larger will be possible with this thunderstorm. So golf ball to tennis ball size hail will be possible in and around Valley Mills as we head through the next few minutes here as this crosses Highway 6. If you know anyone leaving work out of Waco that lives to the northwest, tell them not to go up Highway 6 right now. Not a good idea for that. Stay put if you're in Waco and you live off to the northwest and you usually travel home. Stay put where you are right now. Let's let this storm get by Highway 6 before you attempt any travel with that. There's China Spring there on the right-hand side of your screen. This storm is now taking more of a rightward track. So folks in China Spring, something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Some big hail could be affecting northern parts of McLennan County, and then right there as you head toward China Spring. This one's very close to the warm front too. So it has been warming up, so it's going to have that spin, additional spin here. Let's go back to the velocity product and show you what we are looking at. Not seeing that tightening just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if these greens and reds start coming tighter together as this continues to make its way off toward the east and into a pretty unstable environment off to the east as well. So that's our Valley Mills storm. Let's go back to the Meridian storm. Again, we have 2 tornado warnings, and this one has been pretty healthy as well. Let's go back to our velocity products, see if we still have those greens and reds together. Not quite as prominent as it was. Is this the same view that we were looking at earlier?
Yeah, this is from Fort Worth, so this is going to be our closest shot to that storm.
All right, so it looks like it's broadened out just a little bit, but something that we still have to watch very closely. It did wrap up there just northeast of Meridian, now has kind of piped back down just a bit. But remember, supercells evolve, and as they evolve, it'll change. I still want you in your storm shelter if you live east of Meridian toward the Hill County line. So that's Lake Whitney back to the east side of Meridian. Let's keep you in your storm shelter there. If you live west of Highway 6, this one is departing your location right now. There are more storms to the northwest, so don't let down your guard. But this particular storm continues to make its way off to the east. Could be a little bit of hail associated with this one as well. South between Morgan and Meridian, there on 174. Let's go to our hail tracker, and this one has come up a bit. So probably some quarter size, maybe up to $half size hail, increasing in this thunderstorm northeast of Meridian. So that's moving toward you folks in Lake Whitney. That's tornado warning down to the south as well. So there, that one is wrapped up. This is, again, a classic-looking supercell here near Valley Mills. Josh is set up for us. He's in our 25 Storm Wrangler. He's on this storm to the, just looking west toward Valley Mills. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, we're still north of Crawford, Matt. I've got some inflows still going to this. It's 10 to 15. It did pick up a little bit, but we're seeing a little bit of reorganization of this wall cloud. Notice it's not as defined where it was. It's almost like we got 3 little areas trying to do there. It wouldn't surprise me if this mesocyclone is shifting a little bit south. See the new rain curtain coming in on the backside of this?
We do.
There's still broad rotation on the right.
All right, so again, Josh has eyes on this. If we get a tornado, folks, you're going to see it right here on 25 ABC. You will see it first right here, as we do have eyes on it right now. This is the one near Valley Mills. Again, it does look like it's reorganizing just a little bit, as Josh said. You can see that tree in front of the storm. That's starting to blow a little bit more. So the inflow may be increasing in this, and what happens, supercells start to suck in all that air. And when they do that, the wind out ahead of the storm even starts to increase as well. So it looks like that it's split off just a little bit, and I do think this one will start to turn more to the right here over the next few minutes. Do we have anything else, Taylor?
Yeah, from this same storm, 3 miles west-northwest of Valley Mills, golf ball-sized hail. So at the very least, we have golf balls being produced in this storm, and that could have easily passed over the community of Valley Mills, especially from what we're looking at from a radar standpoint. So large hail falling within this thunderstorm, we know it's capable of doing that, and right now that is the only additional report coming down the wire from this angle.
All right, so you can see what we're seeing right there in our 25 Storm Wrangler, also with the radar. Just a very impressive radar signature now on that storm. And it is reorganizing, and we will be watching it. All right, Josh, go.
Look, you can see the speed. Those clouds are moving a lot faster than they were. Look straight ahead, Matt. See that lowering on the left side?
Yep, is that a funnel?
I think it may be trying to funnel there on the edge, but I think it might be. But you can tell the clouds are spinning a lot faster right in front of us.
All right, so we may have a developing tornado. Go ahead, Hannah. I have director talking in my ear. Okay, so we are looking at that, and there's the wall cloud right there. So this is what Josh is seeing. And this is what we're talking about, right in here. That's the wall cloud. This is the little appendage that's coming down. So that's what Josh is seeing right there. So we're watching that very closely. Again, I think this one is reorganized and starting to turn more to the right, which means it's going to affect more of McLennan County now as it continues to turn off to the right as well. So we have a great shot of this one right here. That's the mesocyclone right here. Your wind and hail is going to be up here. We had the funnel there. Go ahead.
Look at the bottom. We have a funnel. Yes, we have a funnel right there.
There's a funnel right there. Right in there. So we have a developing tornado. This is going to be just around right where Bosque and McLennan County come together, just to the southwest of Valley Mills. I will say that the velocity product still is not representative just yet of significant tightening with this, but sometimes that lags behind just a little bit. We're watching real time right there with Josh. The radar can lag behind just a little bit with that. So we'll see if these greens and reds really start to tighten up here. This is going to be southwest of Valley Mills, moving across northwestern parts of McLennan County. So in McLennan County, we're going to have to watch for this one. If you live anywhere north of Highway 84, China Spring, as you head over toward Waco, especially the north side of Waco, we're going to have to keep a close eye on this as that makes its way off toward the east. So we are watching that one very closely as it continues to work its way in. We had that other thunderstorm that continues to be tornado warned to our north. That it does include folks in eastern parts of Bosque County. This one has lost that definition, and that's good news, Caleb.
Yeah, and you're right, the kind of just spacing out with this particular rotation with the northern storm. But I want to jump back to the southern one just for a moment, because there are other spotters and chasers out on that thunderstorm. A name that I recognize, has been in the game for a long time. He said there were intermittent touchdowns with that funnel cloud that Josh was noting. So he may be closer to that vantage point. I know from here, on Josh's view, we had that funnel cloud, and we have additional people saying that intermittent touchdowns were reported with that funnel.
So that means we've had a tornado.
We would have had a tornado.
So if spotters seeing that correctly, which they probably are, we probably had at least a couple weak tornadoes touch down southwest of Valley Mills. Let's go back and bring Josh's shot up as well. We have a dual view of this. Josh, is it continuing to tighten where you are? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I still see a couple of areas down there dancing around a bit. You can see one straight ahead of me there. You can see it's feeding right up into it. If you look right in the center of the screen, I think this whole base, though, is spinning, Matt. I don't think it's just this one area, because I'm looking to the right and we're seeing a lot of inflow of the clouds. So in the mid-level inflow, not really so much at the surface as we were earlier. It's a very dynamic system that's evolving quite rapidly.
All right, so again, this one's turning more to the right, and I want you to know that as well. I want to make sure that you stay in good position on this thunderstorm. Don't let it get too far into you. But again, on the radar right now, folks, a classic-looking supercell. Let's put a storm track on this from where we have the hook, and then make it more just due east. It looks like it's moving due east as of right now. So this is going to include you folks in China Spring. This is going to include you folks the north side of Waco. That's Waco Regional Airport. By 5:32, this one will be making its way. So in about a half hour, this will start entering the northwestern parts of Waco. Hopefully things will change just a little bit. But as of right now, this one has nothing to compete with. There are no storms to the south of this thunderstorm. Let's broaden our view just a little bit. And I think this one's going to be able to pull in all the energy it wants, because there's nothing competing with it to the southeast. So this is going to be one to watch for the north side of the city of Waco, and then extending up toward Lacey Lakeview. I think it passes south of you folks and west. You may get some rain and hail out of this one, but I think the main core will be south of you. But if you live in China Spring right now, this is going to be moving your way. So Golson, China Spring, to the north side of Waco, that's pretty much where we're looking at right now. If you live on the north side of the lake, that could be impacting you, again, in about 20 to 30 minutes here, as this makes its way off toward the east. So again, it could turn even more. And if it turns more to the right, then that would impact more of the city of Waco. And then it would also have a lot more inflow to work with as well. So that will be something we have to watch very closely. But again, the hail part of this as well. I think we have increasing hail size.
Yep.
Let's go to that. Between Valley Mills and China Spring, golf ball size hail at least, maybe even slightly larger than that, as that continues to percolate again more to the east. So it was going northeast. Now it's moving more to the east. It may try to turn even more and go southeast. If that happens, that would take it closer to the city of Waco. So Waco, we need you to be on guard with this. If you live in Woodway, Waco, or anywhere in there, you need to be ready for the potential of this to continue to turn just a little bit. No official tornado as of right now. Josh is watching that. It looks like it's reorganizing again. We've had a couple of touchdowns reported with this thunderstorm southwest of Valley Mills, but again, I think it's still struggling just a little bit to try to tighten up its lowest levels. The mid-levels are definitely rotating, but the lowest levels are having a little harder time, and that's okay. West of Highway 317, again, we may have a little rotation. This is going to be north of you folks in Crawford. So I think in Crawford, you're going to be looking north, and you're going to see everything to the north of you. But in Crawford, I think you're okay with this. It's going to be north of Crawford by about 4 or 5 miles or so, and then it will continue over toward Highway 6, and then eventually into the China Spring area, and over toward Waco Regional Airport. So if you live around there, be ready for that. And then it will continue off to the east from there. So we will probably have this one around through the 6 o'clock hour. Just in case I didn't say it, you're watching 25 News at 5 here on 25 ABC. We do have 2 tornado warnings that we are tracking for you. We've had a brief touchdown with the one southwest of Valley Mills. This one to the north, probably getting a little competition from this one to the south, but you can see that little curvature right there east of Meridian, making its way closer to Lake Whitney. So it may reorganize a little bit, but it is moving in some cooler air across the northern parts of our area. I don't think the warm front has quite made it up to Hillsboro yet. So with that, this one may become more of a hail producer and a wind producer. This one down the south may take over as more of the tornado producer, as it is in warmer air right now. In Waco, you know it was cooler earlier before lunchtime, and now it's not so cool outside because the warm front came through. That warm, juicy air mass is making its way in. Then we have another thunderstorm approaching you folks in Hyco. This one has been severe for a while. It's west of Stephenville. That will continue to work toward northern parts of Hamilton County into Bosque County. That one's going to have to be watched as well. It's following the boundary right down to the southeast, and it is moving southeast. There's also another one behind it near Comanche, northwest of Comanche. Also, we're watching storms develop just north of Mills County and to the south of Brownwood, where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll have to watch that one for you folks in Mullen and northern parts of Mills County as that continues off toward the east. So again, just because things are happening to the east right now doesn't mean we're not going to see more here across our western areas. So from Stephenville to Brownwood, more supercells developing. This will impact our northwestern counties as we head into the evening hours. So we do have that. And again, do we have any updates from the Weather Service?
No further updates. They're also issuing some new thunderstorm warnings, like you mentioned, for those storms out west. There's a brand new polygon, by the way. And this makes perfect sense, kind of unfolding the way we were thinking, Matt, because we were saying at some point this is going to collect into a line of thunderstorms this evening, and we're seeing that development already out to the west. As these storms progress to the east, they are going to cluster up. They're going to form broken lines and perhaps one large line eventually, and that's why we have a severe thunderstorm threat for most of the area tonight. It's because this is going to truck east and have further development along the way, so it could be a lengthy evening for us here in Central Texas.
All right, so the blue area you see is a tornado watch, and that does include all of Central Texas until 10 o'clock. So a tornado watch for everyone. Even though you're not seeing much in Temple and Killeen right now, you will see storms later on tonight. In fact, I will guarantee everyone will see storms tonight. Whether you see severe weather or not, it's still yet to be seen. But there will be storms. That line will continue to develop to the west, and we have supercells from the northwest side of Waco up to Meridian. We'll have to watch those closely as well. But this entire line will develop and continue to push southeast across the entire area for tonight. So if you're not seeing severe weather right now, don't let your guard down. So we have the tornado warnings continuing here, and that's a new severe thunderstorm warning for Bosque, correct?
I believe they've just trimmed the old one. That one came out first, and then the tornado warning happened.
All right, so then that will be for the hail core. That's between Meridian and Lake Whitney right now. Probably some sizable hail. It could be $50, possibly a little bit larger there, west of Lake Whitney, and that continues to move toward the north side of the lake. And the rotation part of this would be moving closer to Whitney, but I do think that it has come down just a little bit as we're not seeing nearly as much rotation here as it's moving into a cooler air mass. So I would think this one is probably going to lose its potential for producing a tornado as it continues to move into 60-plus degree air. The one to the south is still in 70-plus degree air out there. And again, just to the south of Valley Mills now, between Valley Mills and Crawford, that continues to make its way off to the east. And I know we keep saying the same things over and over, but our audience continues to evolve as well. People are getting home, turning on the TV, and there you go. Probably some sizable hail now. We have meteorologist Matthew Hidalgo. He is monitoring our social media. So make sure we're streaming live on Facebook. Make sure you put any pictures you can get of hail. Do it safely. We don't want you to get hurt trying to do anything like that. But if you do have any pictures or anything, you can send that there. Matthew, do we have anything yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so nothing official coming in picture-wise. But this is a big hail core now between Valley Mills and China Spring. That's going to be producing golf ball size hail, maybe slightly larger than that, especially in this core between Valley Mills and China Spring. This is the main hook echo just to the west now of Highway 6. Josh has a great shot. Let's go to Josh on our 25 Storm Wrangler. Josh, where have you relocated to?
We are on Farm Road 185. We're probably a mile or two to the east of Crawford, and I'm about to get you an even better shot, Matt. We found a little clearing right here in between two cornfields, and we can get a really good shot of it here. But we've been watching the storm, Matt. One thing that's interesting to me is look at the left side of this. Almost looks like we're getting another little area trying to build right there. On the right side, that's the spot we have been watching. And it's been continuing to spin, but I'm curious to see what happens with this new one here. Looks like there's also a little bit of a lowering in front of us ahead of that main thing, but there's the whole base right there. You got a view of it. We don't have anything on the ground at this time, but as you've said, we have been watching a couple funnels out of it, and we have inflow into it, probably going around 15 to 20 right now.
All right, so the inflow has increased just a little bit. And again, it's 5:10. As we head deeper into the evening, the inflow into these storms will continue to increase, so the tornado potential will continue to go up as we head towards 6, 7 o'clock this evening, as a jet of low-level air usually starts to form just above the surface with this. So, again, I think we have two areas of spin now. We have the main one that's on the right-hand side of your screen there, and then to the left. Is that spinning there, Josh?
It is, and I think it's a little bit lower. It may be funneling there.
All right, so possible funnel cloud with that one on the left-hand side of your screen right there. It continues to get lower to the ground.
That matches more with our inflow.
Yeah, okay. That one could be tornadoing.
So that would be very
this could be
close
south of Valley Mills.
Very close to 317.
Yeah,
at this
very
time.
close to 317 right now. It looks like it's broken up and again, this is how fast things can evolve. It looks like it's broken up just a little bit. But again, it's trying, folks. It is trying here. This is going to be north of Crawford by about 4 or 5 miles, north of Crawford. And where exactly are you again, Josh?
I'm on 185 just east of Crawford. So
Okay.
This is the road that cuts from Crawford to that split off at China Spring.
Okay. Okay. So you had eastbound there. So we are watching that. Again, this is what we're watching right now from our 25 Storm Wrangler. This is right here. It looks like it's been
I
trying
call
to
that a
produce
funnel cloud, Matt. It's starting to angle more up down.
All right. So again, and you get you get it in the horizontal, then it tries to stretch it up. So that is a funnel now developing there, right there, live. And we do have that. This is going to be just north of you folks. I think it stays north of you folks in Crawford as well. And it's trying, and then it looks like it starts to weaken. So is the inflow decreasing and then increasing where you are, or what's happening here?
The inflow does look a little bit lighter than it did a while ago when it was trying.
Okay, so again, it tries and then it's going back up again. Then we have here as well. We're going to have to watch this area. This is the old area of rotation right here. I think this is the new part of the hook that is starting to develop. And again, a live look right there. We have vertical motion, those clouds going up into the updraft of the thunderstorm. So again, we keep getting wall clouds and funnel clouds being produced by this. We had a brief touchdown reported earlier. That was about 20 minutes ago. That was southwest of Valley Mills. Now this is trying again. So we have that. Also going to have to watch that part of it right there. Let's go to the radar again and show folks again. That's the visual view. This is looking west toward Highway 317, just to the north of Crawford. And then we have the radar view, and that view shows us that we still have that hook echo as well. Do we have the radar view? There we are. All right, so maybe a little tighter right here. This is what we've been watching right here. So a little bit tighter with those greens and red. And I think there are two areas that we're watching, near Highway 6 and then also here on 317. So that is what we're watching. This is getting closer to a more densely populated area for McLennan County. So folks in China Spring, we told you about 531. You still got a little bit of time. Probably getting some hail, especially on the north side of town. Then as you head up toward Golson, probably getting some pretty good hail out of this thunderstorm. Could be up to golf ball size, maybe even slightly larger than that. But the hook echo right now is right there on 317 north of Crawford. It will continue to make its way toward Highway 6. So between 317 and 6, that's where we have most of this occurring right now. It will continue to make its way eastbound toward China Spring, toward the airport region. So if you live toward Waco Regional, China Spring, north side of Lake Waco, this will be moving your way. Looks like it's trying to reorganize again. Let's go back to Josh's shot. Josh, tell us what you got.
Well, that first funnel that we saw, Matt, is dissipated now. Look at how much it's cut it off. We still have inflow. It's a little weak. I'm looking at this whole base. It's still broad rotation, but we still see that main lowering right there. I'm curious to see how this evolves.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, the low-level jet will start to pick up here in the next hour or so, and I do think that's when we'll see the tornado threat ramp up. And this one's not moving very fast. That's right, Caleb?
You're right, and we have a brand new tornado warning as a part of that thunderstorm. This is going to go for parts of Bosque, Hill, and McLennan counties. It runs until 6 o'clock. So this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Valley Mills. It is moving to the northeast. I'd say maybe a little more east than northeast, though.
Yeah, I think it's moving more east.
25 miles per hour.
So this warning clips the north side of the city of Waco, right there on the north side of the loop, Elmont to Lacey Lakeview, and then back to the west toward China Spring, right Waco Regional Airport as well. This thing's moving more east. I don't agree with that polygon. I think this needs to include more of the north side of the city of Waco. So again, new tornado warning till 6 o'clock. That's for the next 45 minutes here in McLennan County. This one has been trying to produce, folks. It's produced a couple of weak tornadoes already. You've seen live here a couple of funnel clouds that have already been trying to be produced. If you live south towards Highway 84, you're going to be okay. It looks like this is going to stay north of Highway 84, but we're going to watch this one really closely. What about the tornado warning to our north?
They let that one go. It's a severe thunderstorm warning for the foreseeable future.
Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning now for eastern Bosque County. This is our main show across McLennan County now. The northern parts of McLennan County are going to be seeing this. If you live north of Highway 84, this will be impacting you. If you live south of Highway 84 in McLennan County, you will be okay, at least with this particular thunderstorm. There will likely be more later on this evening. A little bit of rotation there, likely to the west of China Spring, where those greens and reds come together just a little bit more. So that's just east of Highway 6 right now, southeast of Valley Mills, right in there. That's where we do have the spin that's trying there. Been looking at Josh's shot. We don't have anything that looks like it's coming down as of yet, so that is good news. But this one has been trying, and it will continue to try as it works its way eastbound. I think it's moving pretty much due east. So folks in China Spring, go ahead and continue with your tornado precautions. Make sure you have our KXXV 25 News app downloaded on your phone. Get any power disruptions, or if you go to your storm shelter and not right there in front of your TV, you can still watch us there on your phone. So make sure you have that. And again, looks like it's elongating just a little bit here. We may be, the main meso may be working its way. We may be getting kind of a little splitting situation going on. But again, large hail from China Spring up to the border of McLennan County. There's the cone right there. That's tracking the tornadic part of this. And it will continue toward China Spring by about 5:35 or so. And then continuing to the east from there, Waco Regional around 5:46. Then McLennan Community College at about 5:54. So that's MCC, north side of Waco. And again, the cone does broaden out just a little bit here. So we'll see if this continues to go more east, goes north, or starts to turn more to the southeast.
And, you know, we were also talking about the hail potential in this thunderstorm. I think we definitely have a big hail producer now. We have a report from really just right outside the city limits of Valley Mills, 1 mile east-southeast of Valley Mills. We have reports of not just baseball or larger size, but the report is large amounts of baseball or larger size hail, and that is right outside Valley Mills. This was a report that came in just a few moments ago.
All right, so baseball to softball size hail now falling from this thunderstorm across northwestern McLennan County. So folks around China Spring, this one may do quite a bit of damage here, at least with hail. So the hail part of this definitely will have that potential. We do have meteorologist Josh Johns, who is out in our 25 Storm Wrangler. He continues to watch this storm. He's repositioning right now, but the hail tracker is not saying what we are getting verified. So it may be underdoing it just a little bit. So that's saying golf ball size hail. This could be, again, up to softball size hail possible with this thunderstorm now. There's Golson, there's China Spring. So between Golson and China Spring, I think the hail core is going to go right in between there. And of course, there's the Brazos River that runs from Bosque County as well. So this is going to cross the Brazos between China Spring and Golson. And it looks like the hook now is right on Highway 6, southwest of China Spring. And it's becoming a little better organized. We're starting to see this come together just a little bit more. So I do think we have, at the very least, an intensifying supercell here across northern parts of McLennan County. So we are going to be watching this one really closely, folks. We're right here along with you. We're not going anywhere, as this is going to have the potential to at least do some significant hail damage. We may get wind damage as well as this continues to intensify, and the possibility of a tornado will exist as well. So any more hail reports with that? Do we have any pictures coming in?
Yeah, we'll check with Matthew for that. As far as the other reports, that's the only other one to pass along. And additionally, that storm we were talking about outside our viewing area, it's up by Erath at the moment. The National Weather Service is monitoring the possible increase for tornado potential with that thunderstorm. So that's going to be something working into our area before too long.
So the one to the northwest?
The northwest one, yeah.
All right, so let's go to that one. That's going to be approaching you folks in the Hyco area. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for that. And that one's coming down Highway 6. It looks like Highway 6 is very popular tonight. That will continue to work its way off toward the southeast. And again, that's been a big hail producer. But that one's going to be one to look at that hook. That's continuing down to the southeast. That's going to move right down Highway 6 across near Hyco and then into Bosque County once again. So Bosque County will be watching this one closely for you as it makes its way off toward the southeast. Not officially in our area just yet. So let's go back to the McLennan County storm, but we're going to have to keep an eye on all these folks. We may have several storms that try to tornado on us for today and going into the evening hours. There's the Hook Echo west of China Spring. Again, let's go over our tornado precautions. If you're turning on your TV right now, the sirens are likely going off where you are. Let's tell them what to do, Caleb.
Absolutely. So this is the point of time where if you are in these communities that we've mentioned, we want you to be seeking shelter from that thunderstorm. And I'm going to see if I can pull that up for you. But what we want to remind you guys, in fact, let's go to Josh. I think Josh has word for us.
All right, Josh, go.
We have a large rotating wall cloud. I'm looking north of 185. Look at the quick motion here, Matt. It's trying to drop a little bit back and forth. I seen a couple of funnels as we were approaching it.
So is that a horizontal funnel going into the wall cloud right now?
On the left side?
Yeah.
I think actually it might be.
Yeah. I think we got a little bit of a funnel right here going into the wall cloud. And what can happen is updraft picks that up and it stretches it vertically. So we're going to have to watch this. When you start getting that horizontal funnel action around a wall cloud, that may produce right here over the next couple of minutes, as you can see some pretty good rotation with this as it makes its way off toward the east. Again, it's rotating this way. You can see that cloud doing this, and on the backside, it's going that way. So again, we do have the potential for this. It looks like it's trying to intensify once again. So we are watching this one very closely. This is moving toward, again, a highly populated area in McLennan County. So this could produce a tornado at any time. Let's go back to our velocity, and yeah, that's going to be...
So that's Granger right now.
That's Granger.
Yep.
So right in here, between 6 and 317. That's where we're going to have that. Looks like the main part of the hook is starting to shift off toward the east. It's going to be right here over Highway 6, then continuing over toward you folks in the China Spring area, and then eventually toward Golson, probably going to be just south of you. Here's Waco Regional Airport on the north side of the lake. That's going to be close. So anyone near Waco Regional Airport, back to China Spring, let's go ahead and do the tornado precautions right now.
All right, yeah, and we're getting some reports from Todd here behind the scenes as well. But let's talk about those precautions that we want you guys to take in these warned areas. So if you have a storm shelter, that is what this is for. That's where you need to be at the moment. Otherwise, we want you guys in the lowest level of your home. Now, once you're in that lowest level, likely the ground floor here in Central Texas, right? But we want you to be in there. So we're going to be wanting you guys to be in an interior room in these lowest levels. That's going to be a closet or a bathroom or just something that's away from those outside walls and windows. Now, once you're there, there are further steps that you can take to keep yourself safe. Cover your head. You can use helmets to protect yourself from flying debris, and you can shield yourself with blankets, pillows, something that's padded. Mattresses will work. So if you are, again, in the communities downstream of this that Matt mentioned, top level of the apartment, you got to go downstairs. Hopefully you know your neighbors. If not, it's time to meet them. Want to be on that first floor. And by the way, manufactured homes and mobile homes, you've got some time, but you need to be leaving those right now because that is not where we want you to be in an impending tornado. It's time to seek a more sturdy shelter if you're in a mobile or manufactured home.
All right, let's go back to Josh's shot. Folks, this is live. This is real time right now. You can see that we do have a rotating wall cloud right there. I want to bring Todd in real quick. He's been reading social media posts. Todd, what have you been seeing out there?
Yeah, we've got tons of people watching, obviously, on Facebook Live, and quite a few people commenting now that tornado sirens or severe weather storm sirens are going off in Bosqueville and also Lacey Lakeview. So as the night progresses here, we would just expect those to continue, Matt.
All right, so they're continuing to monitor that. Our news team doing a great job. They'll get us any pictures and videos. But again, we want to keep you safe first. Pictures and videos are secondary. But if you happen to have one, you can send them in. We're on Facebook Live. And you can just post them right in there. But again, definitely rotation there. Josh, it looks like that rotation has increased a bit. It looks pretty broad, but it's there.
Yeah, it's pretty fast, Matt. We aren't seeing anything drop immediately to the ground. I keep looking to the right to make sure there's no other motion on the right side of this because radar is matching up a little bit further north, I believe. We're on 185 between Crawford and Highway 6, by the way.
All right.
Trying to work back towards China Spring, but trying to avoid a hail at the same time. But I don't see anything on the ground yet. Still, there is some speedy rotation right there.
All right, Josh, we lost your picture for a second. Make sure that it's not in black for us. Storm winds, again, broad rotation still, and this is what I'm talking about. We see the clouds, and this is the spin that goes this way, and then this is the spin